Okay, here today with Rick D. Mecola in our Newcastle office. How are you, Rick?
Really well, thanks, Drew.
Rick sold a number of businesses, been a business broker for a long time. Wanted to talk to you today about distribution businesses. You've sold a couple, and I know if people out there have a distribution business they're looking to sell, you'd probably be somebody happy to take that call. Talk us through, if you could, mate, one of your recent distribution sales, perhaps if you could, and maybe highlight what happened and some of the challenges. I mean, can you think of one off the top of your head?
Yeah, well, there was a one that I did not that long ago. It was a couple of $1 million, and what I found interesting about that was we found a couple of blokes, buyers that were very, very keen, but they were insistent that they could only buy it by way of share acquisition, and the seller's accountant was just as insistent that we weren't going to sell that company. She wanted the owner to keep that. So in the end, what we did was on settlement day, we transferred all the assets and liabilities out of that business into a new company, and the buyers bought shares in that new company, and that's how it was done. And it got even more interesting because as a last minute thing, the owner retained 33% of the ownership in the new company, so it would end up being more of a joint venture, if you will, or a production of some equity partners, and they're going gangbusters. It was really good.
That's interesting. There's always different workarounds, different ways to get the deal done. And share sales are becoming pretty common nowadays. They're a large percentage of what we transact. So that particular business, it had a good management team in place. The owner didn't have much to do with it.
It was managed. So what the good thing about it, I guess, was that there was no reliance on the business to the owner. The owner, the customers didn't know who the owner was.
And there was a multitude of small customers, like not one.
Heaps of smaller customers. If you lost your biggest customer, you might have lost $1,000 a year. There was minimal risk from that point of view. It was managed, so that there was a lot of things. It was in a growth spurt. COVID had minimal effect, had some effect, but minimal. So
so if there is one large customer, sometimes that can be a bit of a red flag to buyers. But a business like what you've sold there sounds like it sort of breaks down those barriers. What about from your point of view? Was that a difficult business to appraise? Was it? I mean, you probably sold a few of them.
No, it was pretty straightforward. We just normalised the profits, explained to the owner what we were doing. Most owners are really good at running their business, don't always understand the selling process, so that it's important that they get talked through that. Once he understood the logic behind the pricing, it was pretty easy.
From distributing businesses in general, I mean, from our end, there's always a pretty significant demand for those types of businesses. Are you seeing the same?
I am, and even in the aftermath of that sale, I've got a long list of people that would have bought it, that didn't act quickly enough or came onto the scene too late. There is a lot of demand.
Great. No, thanks for that, Rick. Just wanted to have a quick chat to you today on distribution. I do appreciate you taking the time. If anyone has a distribution business they're looking at selling, I'm sure Rick would be happy to talk to you about it and give you some guidance, help you through an appraisal and through the process of taking it to market. You can find Rick's details on our website on morganbusinesssales.com. Thank you very much, Rick, for coming in, having a brief chat today about how to sell a distribution business. Really nice to see you again, mate, and we'll talk to you soon.
Anytime. Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate.